Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? I thought it would be a good idea to take a little break from crushing Jersey Shore because me and my wife are on a huge kick of grinding all the old seasons for the 1,000th time, and damn, I swear, it gets funnier and funnier every single time. But I figured I would record my Football Friday pod on this Thursday night, get it out for you, and I just feel like it's been a billion years since the last time I even watched this team play. I'm stuck with watching the New York Jets and Zach Wilson on prime time. I don't know how they deserve all the eyeballs that they get, but that's been brutal. I need to see Jalen Hurts. I need to see a real quarterback. I need to see two teams that are legitimate actually have the spotlight, damn it. And man, I'm stoked for it. I'm excited. And realistically, it comes down to Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson going toe-to-toe with Andy Reid after a bye. And that's a very difficult task, right? It's not like a lot of coaches can match it. Well, Nick, it's time. It's time. And I thought in the Super Bowl that the game plan was strong by your Philadelphia Eagles from everybody except for one, Jonathan Gannon, who's the biggest fraud in football. So now we're dealing with Al Horford, the biggest fraud in basketball. And one day later, I have to talk about Gannon, the biggest fraud in football. It's sad days. I want to talk about greatness. I want to think about the good things in life, not the sour pieces of crap that I once had to deal with in this city. So let's just flip the page and get on to the good stuff, which is previewing this matchup and what we expect. Before we do that, what is HelloFresh? That's a great question. People ask me all the time when I'm just walking down the street, yo, bros! Oh, hey, what's happening? What's HelloFresh? Okay, let me tell you. All right, what HelloFresh is you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. So you get to skip all those trips to the grocery store, which nobody loves to begin with, and you get to count on HelloFresh to make home-cooked meals every single night. It's easy, it's fun, and it's affordable. It's 25% less expensive than takeout, so that means that you get an easy home-cooked meal on the table, and you even get money back in your pocket. So the way it works is you have over 40 selections a week. You get to pick which recipes are delivered, and then there's pictured step-by-step cards that basically are the size of this piece of loose leaf, and it shows you pictures. It gives you in detail what to do, and everything's already measured out, so you just follow along. You don't have to measure anything. No, this is it. This is what you're working with. Just follow the instructions, and bada bing, bada boom, you look like the best chef in the world afterwards. My mother-in-law thinks that I could work at a 5-star restaurant, and she's not just saying that to make my wife happy, okay? She's saying that because she means it, and it tastes like heaven, and you can join the experience too. You get 50% off and free shipping with promo code BROADS at HelloFresh.com/50BROADS. It is America's #1 meal kit. Okay. So this all starts with the coaching. Coaching. Yeah, there's something to be said about Andy Reid's track record. He's been around a long time, and he wins a lot of the time after a bye. Yo, Nick, it's time to show your worth, and I think he can do it, all right? I'm holding him accountable because I think he has it in him. I think he can go toe-to-toe with one of the most creative minds. And I'm saying this even with Brian Johnson as the OC, which I'm sure a lot of you listening are thinking, what a mess, and Brian Johnson could screw this thing up. They've done way better in the red zone. Their passing game has been great between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. It seems like Jalen Hurts feels good with his knee, and he's not wearing the knee brace anymore, and we were able to finally talk to the coaching staff and see some practice, and Cam Jurgens is back out there. Roby, a lot of the guys that were extremely banged up are back on the gridiron, while Travis Kelce's out there singing songs and wherever the hell he was, in whatever country he was with Taylor Swift. We're getting ready for some football, and he's kissing Taylor Swift on TikTok videos. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Now, all jokes aside, the tight ends, we've seen some tight ends do some nasty work against this secondary so far this season, and Jimmy Kempski of Philly Voice put out there a few just to note. So Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots had 6 targets, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Hawkinson, Minnesota Vikings, 8 targets, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Logan Thomas, 8 targets, 44 yards, and a touchdown. And, of course, the stinking, disgusting Dallas Cowboys. Ferguson had 10 targets, almost 100 yards, and 1 touchdown. Roby being back could be massive to get everybody back in place, but there's no doubt Sean Desai is working with some makeshift things out there, and the secondary hasn't been perfect, and teams have been able to pass on them. I looked up some of the stats that in regards to passing yards, that they are similar to the New York Football Giants, the team that gets exposed and bent over by every opponent ever, and the New England Patriots, who have 2 wins on the season. They suck. Those 2 passing game defenses, you're flirting around those guys with total number of passing yards. That's brutal. With that said, teams can't run against you. They have the number 1 defense with the rushing yards total, and they are a beast. Now, your defensive front will have to win you this game defensively. There's no sugarcoating it, but there's no better time to rely on a BG than after BG has a sensational effort and helps win you a football game against the bastards, the Dallas Cowboys. Also factor in Hassan Reddick is awoken. Okay, he woke up and he's been a monster. And Josh Sweat, his rate of getting to the quarterback and putting pressure on the opposing team is at the top of the league. So that right there, and Jordan Davis swallowing people, and Jalen Carter swallowing people, those 2 Georgia dogs, that's what you're going to need to do. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't average a ton of points. This is not the same Kansas City Chiefs team that we have seen in years past. I do want to highlight, though, and I'm saying the same thing about this Eagles football team. I don't think they are as powerful as they were last year, but when you have sustained success and you have the quarterback and a head coach and that duo that rock the entire league by storm, Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes does that, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni over the last 2 seasons have done that, and you're working through injuries and you're working through new teammates and you lose Miles Sanders and you go get DeAndre Swift, and there's a lot that you filter through, and your secondary is not the same. You have a new DC, but you have sustainability in winning football games because of the 2 most important positions in the sport, in head coach and quarterback. If you're going 8-1 following Super Bowl appearances, there's something to be said about how great you are. It might not be the same. You might not score the same amount of points. Some things might change with your identity, but your identity screams, we still win football games, and that's what both of these teams are. I have to note, though, if the Eagles hold the Chiefs to what they average this season, which is around middle of the pack, it's slightly better than middle of the pack at 23 points per game, they should win this football game. They should be the team that has a W. They should be 9-1 and in control of being the team that gets a bye at the end of the season in the NFC. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because that means your offense can't score 24. And while I give Spags a lot of credit, his defense has been definitely more interesting this season, and they have made some more plays this year, and they've been the ones that get a lot of the highlight package love at times with their defense. So Spags is a pro. Spags has been around a long time. He is a weapon in this league. I respect him, and I respect this Kansas City franchise right now. They are a beatable bunch, and they don't put fear in my eyes like they did in years past. And whether that's because they aren't as flashy, or I think my team is just as good, or a combination of the both, of those, I'm ready for it, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this test. All we heard was gauntlet, gauntlet, gauntlet. Well, I'll give you your gauntlet and shove it right up because this team can answer the bell. Jordan Mailata on WIP a couple days ago brought the fire and said Nick Sirianni's going to walk in like it's any other day. And I don't know what message we get. John Clark sometimes tweets it out that I've been told by some of my sources that Nick Sirianni showed them a Michael Jordan documentary or a Kobe Bryant doc. I'm sure we'll get something sooner rather than later. I don't know what Nick Sirianni does, but earlier in the week, Jordan Mailata expressed that, okay, he feels that Sirianni might say this is another day at the office. But everybody knows what that feeling was like when they walked off that field in Arizona, the shit show field that was, that definitely hurt them from locking in as many sacks as we saw them get throughout the regular season. And they saw that confetti that was red and gold falling on their face. And what does Nick Sirianni always stresses what the bye week is all about? It's self-assess mode. It's look within mode. Well, you don't think you go back and watch that Super Bowl and feel the same level of pain? There's motivation due to frustration on what they let slip through their hands. And that's another Lombardi trophy for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's setting up a potential, let's be honest, if you win a couple Super Bowls in a 5-year span or 6-year span, whatever the math is, 2017-18 was the year they actually won it, though the calendar flipped at that point. And if they would have won last year, that many Super Bowls in that spurt of time, and if they were this good again this year, you're talking dynasty-level franchise, and that's what slipped. If you don't think they're inspired to kick ass and to go into that stadium on a Monday night when all the eyes are watching, being hungry. Whew. This bunch, man, I just got the goosebumps piping that into the microphone for you to explain what they're probably feeling to you. And I'm feeling it right now. If I'm feeling it right now, how do you think Jalen Hurts is feeling listening to Anita Baker in his headphones right before kickoff? It's a special bunch with a special leader, and I have faith that they can answer this. I have faith that they go out there and put up a fight and show that they can do exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs can do, if not more. The Eagles average top 3 in the league, tied with the San Francisco 49ers in 29 points per game. So that's significant. And if you want to look at just the last 3, Kansas City, 20 points. In the last 3 games, they're averaging 20 points as a unit. Philadelphia Eagles, 32. That's against Dallas, Miami, and the Washington football team, or the Washington Commanders. So I'd say Dallas and Miami are serious threats. They're good teams. When I say serious threats, they're not bums as much as the Cowboys are bums. They're not bums. They're not bottom of the league crap. So you're not scoring 32 on piss poor. You're scoring 32 on what would say with the Miami Dolphins was one of the most electric offenses they've ever seen. Not that you score against their offense, but look what they did to that entire team. They sucked their soul right out of their body. That's what the Eagles can do. And I'm curious to see if they go with a very similar philosophy that they did in the Super Bowl. Let's win the time of possession, which would have them leaning more on the run game. And they have been a team that's been showing we can work with the pass and we can throw the football to A.J. Brown. Is Dallas Goedert a problem? The loss thereof? Yeah, absolutely, yes. Yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if Julio Jones steps up. Different position, but a skill position player. Yeah, and I heard Tim McManus say this on 97.5, and I think it's very reasonable to wonder what they do with the tight end because, well, if you go with Albert O, maybe it's a tell that it's a passing down. If you go with someone like Stoll, hey, he's going to be utilized as the blocker. The threat of Dallas Goedert is he can do both. Now, is that something that the other team sees and goes, all right, well, we recognize player X is in here, which then can maybe shrink what they can do? maybe Nick Sirianni can play off of that. If he puts something into the game plan where we know they're probably thinking ahead and already writing down in their mind that this play will be X because Alberto's in there or because Stoll's in there. Now we can work off of that thought and see if we can expose them in other areas because, well, they think they have us, but they don't. You have to play that mental game, and I'm sure Nick Sirianni is very, very willing to. Did I say that they scored 29 points per game? It was 28. That's what I have written down here, 28. 28. What else do we have here? Oh, yes, the final thought on what they did in the Super Bowl. Have Pat Mahomes wonder when he'll be on the football field again. Work the clock, milk the 6-minute, 7-minute drives, start off with a beautiful touchdown drive, go up 7-0, do your thing. Or will they be heavier in the pass game because you can't stop the A.J. Brown show? And he's one of the best wide receivers to do it right now. Dare Spags to draw something up to stop him. And if you think you can, if you think you want to bracket him, if you think you want to take him away, fine. Yo, Devontae, it's time for you to show up. Not that he hasn't shown up. I said that horrendously. I apologize. I'm just saying, time for you to have an A.J. Brown-like game. It's your time. He has the capability to do it, and I know he can do it. I'm just saying, that sounded wrong. I didn't like the way that sounded. I want to X that out. Pretend that never happened. Hey, if you want to bracket A.J. Brown, go do it by all means. Do whatever you want to try and remove him and dare anybody else to beat you. But the difference with this team compared to some other teams, the next guy you're daring happens to be Devontae Smith. How about that? How about that for a nice boost of confidence for number 6? Hey, before we continue, we love the 76ers, don't we? Yes, we do. We love the Eagles, don't we? Yes, we do. We love the Flyers, don't we? Yes, we do. What if I told you Tick Pick and I have teamed up so we can help give you a push and give you some money to go to these games? Well, that sounds lovely, bros. I know. Listen right here. There's a link down below in the description. And if you click that Tick Pick link, my promo code's already activated and you will receive $10 off of your tickets. So call your loved one. Say, hey, let's go to a game. Bring your family. Tell your wife. Let's go on a date night. Go to the Wells Fargo Center. Watch Embiid live. $10 off of any tickets that you buy that are at least $99 or more. And look, they have the best price guarantee. Their ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces. They're so confident about it that if you find the same seats elsewhere for a better price than Tick Pick, they give you 110% of the price difference in the form of Tick Pick credit. And there's also upfront pricing, meaning that there's no more doing math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of listed prices, because the price you pay is the price the price you see at the end is the price you pay, period, end of story. So do not be a fool and get yourself to a game today. Okay, well, we'll do some tech sports stuff. I'm going to pull it up on my phone. Hurts says he's healthy, but is it bad that I'm still afraid of his knee? Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson cannot continue to have him running a ton. We need to see him pass the football and stay upright as long as possible. I'm not too concerned with the knee. Here's why. Because the last time I saw him get injured and go down and sit there for about 3 minutes where everybody had a mini heart attack and then he jogged himself off into the tunnel, I watched him come out of that tunnel and run on a 3rd down and short to pick up a 1st down. This kid, whenever he's down and out, whenever he has adversity, whenever something seems like it's going to put him away, he has the answer. And it's a defining characteristic of the dude. Because when you thought he was done at Alabama, no, he wasn't. When Tua takes over, no, he doesn't. When it's Jalen Hurts time, it's Jalen Hurts time. His knee, he had a bunch of rest and time to sit down, relax, put in the work to make sure that he's the best he can be when they take the field for the second half after the bye. Something can happen in a game, sure, but that can happen at any point. I don't want to take away his threat of using his legs. That's what makes the other defenses have to think and wonder. If it's an RPO or if it's a read option and he has the ball out and you're just removing that from the game plan, then if you're a team that's defending and you have linebackers or anybody in the box, they don't have to even think twice about Jalen Hurts taking off, which then makes it easier to stop a DeAndre Swift or anybody else, regardless of who you're your offensive line is, and trust me, we will foam out the mouth thinking about the excitement of run blocking with anybody on our O-line. Taking away that element changes a ton. It changes a ton. So I guess moral of the story for me is I have faith in the quarterback that he could push through any sort of toughness because he has it upstairs mentally and he has it on the field physically too. He's a warrior, and there's no other way to explain it, that he knows how to play through this stuff. And even Pat Mahomes last year, it made no sense for him to have a big run in the Super Bowl, and it made no sense for him to be available when he had the problem with his ankle. But when you are different, and when you are a monster, you find ways. You grind through. You battle through. That's what Jalen Hurts is. So I'm not hitting any panic button on him physically until I really need to. And it shows you a lot that I'm not even hitting panic after what we saw against Dallas because the guy is wired differently. Andy Reid off of a bye week. Can the Eagles do the unthinkable, or will Andy Reid wax them, as you would say? I do like the term wax. I'm a big fan of wax that ass. They'd wax that ass. Can Andy Reid wax them? Off a bye? Of course, yes. Yeah, sure, yes. Can Andy Reid do it? Yes. Yes. Andy Reid could do that, yes. Yes. Will it happen? No. Lane Johnson, Jason Kelce, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Slay. No. Coaching is extremely important in this sport, especially with so much time in both teams having that long window to really study the other. There's too much pride in this room knowing that this was the team to take away the championship. Knowing what Andy Reid means to Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and that angle. Knowing how big the stakes are to prove that this 8-1 thing isn't faulty. After hearing about the Dallas Cowboys beating up on Donnie DeVito, Danny DeVito, Tommy DeVito, whatever his name is, and then talking heads claiming that the Dallas Cowboys have the best quarterback in football, you should lose your job when you make that type of statement on the air. But, bros, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Not one that's stupid. Not one that dumb. Come on. Dak Prescott. I threw up again. Why does that always happen? Why do I always vomit when garbage is thrown around and I repeat it? It's my body telling me something. It's my body telling you something. Trash. People just say trash. But with this team and the way that they have veteran presence and the way that they attack their job every single week, and knowing that this one means more and it's not just another week 9, week 10, week 11, week 12, week 13 football game, the stakes are higher. They won't let that happen. Even going up against one of the best to ever do it. And one of the best records off of extended time to study the opponent. No way. I'd be stunned. I would drop dead, I think, possibly. Possibly just from shock. It won't happen. I'm telling you, it won't happen. All right? And then we'll hit this text here. How much will the offense be hurt by the lack of Dallas Goedert? Yeah, I got you. I understand what you're saying. By not having Dallas Goedert, he's a weapon, no doubt. Not having Dallas Goedert is definitely significant. Even when there are times, like we saw earlier this season, that maybe they weren't doing the best job incorporating him into the offense, it's the what-if factor. It's what if Dallas Goedert is the guy this play. It's you always have to focus on him because you never know. He could be quiet for 3 straight quarters and then in the fourth have 3 straight catches on third downs to put together a drive that gets you in the the end zone, and then the Eagles win the game. It only takes 1 or 2 plays. So, yeah, not having him is going to hurt. But I think that this team, once again, it goes to the character of the room and also the talent in the room and the talent on the offense and the quarterback. The quarterback not letting that be the difference. I'll make my throws. I'll hit someone else. I'll find Alberto. I'll get to Zacchaeus. I'll hit anybody that's on the field and wide open. It's on me. Hell, if it's a double coverage A.J. Brown, I'll throw up a 50-50 ball that A.J. Brown gets down because the ball is only where he has the 75% chance to bring it home and the defenders are fighting over the other 25%. He'll do it. He'll do it. There's too much greatness in that room for Dallas Goedert to be the difference. And as great as Dallas Goedert is, and I want to be very clear, Dallas Goedert is great. He's great. I've watched the Kansas City Chiefs lose Tyreek Hill and still be a serious threat. And look, I'm bringing up the fact that they don't score as many points, and they don't score as many points as they once did, but they still win. I don't care if they win this game 24-23. I don't care if they win this game 23-20 on a last-second field goal. That's a 61-yarder. Okay, I don't care what it is. Find ways to win. And if you're missing Dallas Goedert, there should be enough from the quarterback on. Maybe it's the run game. Maybe it's DeAndre Swift in the passing game. Maybe they get creative again, use a couple running backs, and have DeAndre Swift line up in the slot, which gives you another interesting wrinkle in your offense. Get him in motion and then do something cute like they did last game. Kenneth Gainwell being the lead block. DeAndre Swift is following him and picking up some nice chunks of change. It's very, very possible. So I believe. It's just that simple. I believe. And I'm excited for them to play. It just sucks that we're waiting another day. Like, not only do we have the bye week, but then they play Monday Night Football, so we're waiting that whole day Sunday. And as much as we all love football, Sundays don't feel the same and doesn't hit right. Even though I have Red Zone on, I order a pizza, I get wings, I drink some cold ones, I have a soda, whatever, however you want to enjoy your Sunday afternoons. If the Birds don't play, I lose something in life. I don't have that same juice that I like to have on my Sunday, especially in the morning, your cup of coffee. At this rate, it's a little cold outside. You see some frost on the grass. That's what it's all about, and it's just not the same anymore. Anyway, all right. Before we wrap things up, Thanksgiving is almost here, people, and skip the arguments with Uncle Dave on Thanksgiving and focus on what really matters. Good food, boosted odds, and hitting those Turkey Day parlays. Picture this, not just watching games, but turning every second into potential winnings. With MyBookie, you can stream the games and live bet them and turn any game day into a payday. Ready to up your game? Sign up today and make your first deposit with promo code BRODES for a sweet deposit bonus, up to $1,000. That's promo code BRODES to claim your bonus. This isn't just a promo code, it's your secret weapon to get the extra edge on the house. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie and promo code BRODES. You get a redeemable deposit bonus up to $1,000. And if you're not taking the Eagles, all right, go look at that line. Don't tell me there's not a lot of value on those Birds. Go bet the Birds. Go bet A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and receiving yards. Don't be a fool. I'm telling you, put your faith into this team. Don't be dumb. Go make some money. Go make some money. Make some money. All right, make some money. So with that said, I love you guys to death. I feel good about this one. I'm excited about it. We'll be talking about it. I love you guys to death, and we will be talking very, very soon. Have a great day, everybody.